Hare Krishna devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. All goes to Srimad and Guru Maharaj. I think Hemangi Mataji, when you're ready, you can start Mataji.
Dear Prabhuji, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Sri Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Today we are reading Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 42, text 20-38. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudire Nashtaprayesu Avadresu Nityam Bhagavata Seva Bhagavate Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki Namo Vishnupadaya Krishnapastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesa Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare. Text 20. Seeing the guards coming upon them with evil intent, Balaram and Keshava took up the two halves of the bow and began striking them down. After also killing a contingent of soldiers sent by Kamsa, Krishna and Balaram left the sacrificial arena by its main gate and continued their walk about the city, happily looking at the opulent sights. Having witnessed the amazing deed Krishna and Balaram had performed, and seeing their strength, boldness, and beauty, the people of the city thought they must be two prominent demigods. As they strolled about at will, the sun began to set, so they left the city with the cowherd boys and returned to the cowherd's wagon encampment. At the time of Mukunda's Krishna departure from Vrindavana, the gopis had foretold that the resident of Mathura would enjoy many benedictions, and now the gopis' predictions were coming true. For those residents were gazing upon the beauty of Krishna, the jewel among men. Indeed, the goddess of fortune desired the shelter of that beauty so much that the sea abandoned many other men, although they worshipped her. After Krishna's and Balaram's feet were bathed, the two lords ate rice with milk. Then, although knowing what Kamsa intended to do, they spent the night there comfortably. Wicked King Kamsa, on the other hand, was terrified, having heard how Krishna and Balaram had broken the bow and killed his guards and soldier all simply as a game. He remained awake for a long time, and both while awake and while dreaming he saw many bad omens, messenger of death. Text 28-31. When he looked at his reflection, he could not see his head. For no reason the moon and star appeared double. He saw a hole in his shadow. He could not hear the sound of his life air. Trees seemed covered with a golden hue, and he could not see his footprints. He dreamed that he was being embraced by ghosts, riding a donkey and drinking poison, and also that a naked man smeared with oil was passing by wearing a garland of Nalada flowers. Seeing these and other such omens, both while dreaming and while awake, Kamsa was terrified by the prospect of death, and out of anxiety he could not sleep. When the night had finally passed, and the sun rose up again from the water, Kamsa set about arranging for the grand wrestling festival. The kings performed the ritual worship of the wrestling arena, sounded their drums and other instruments, and decorated the viewing galleries with garland, flags, ribbons, and arches. The city dwellers and residents of the outlying district, led by Brahmanas and Kshatriyas, came and sat down comfortably in the galleries. The royal guests received special seats. Text 35. Surrounded by by his minister, Kamsa took his seat on the imperial dais. But even as he sat amidst his various provincial rulers, his heart trembled. While the musical instrument loudly played in the rhythmic meters appropriate for wrestling matches, the lavishly ornamented wrestler proudly entered the arena with their coaches and sat down. Text 37. Enthused by the pleasing music, Charuna, Mustika, Kuta, Sala, and Toshala sat down on the wrestling mat. Text 38 Nanda Maharaj and the other cowherds summoned by the king of the Bhojas presented him with their offerings and then took their seats in one of the galleries. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, thank you so much, Yamang Mataji. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, dear Sri Krishna Prabhuji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All goes to Guru Maharaj Sri Prabhupada. Yeah, whenever you're ready, you can start, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Sundran Prabhu. Thank you, Hemangi Mataji, for reading Srimad Bhagavatam today. Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya cha Nandagopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha Vairagya Vidya Nija Bhakti Yogam Sikshashtamekam Purusha Puranam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Sariradari Kripambaditamaham Prapadye Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langete girim yatkrupatamaham vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam Shri Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. So in this section, we are seeing how the Kamsa was so wicked. He was making so many plans to kill Krishna, but finally he understood that by Narada Muni's prediction that he saw that okay, he can invite Krishna for this Dhanur Yajna, and then he can make so many plans to kill Krishna. But Nanda Maharaj, on the other hand, he knew that Krishna is so powerful. Actually, they are in a festival mood because after so many years, his very close friend Vasudev will be out of prison, and Devika also will be out of prison, and Kamsa will be destroyed. So Nanda Maharaj and cowherd boys, they're all in festival mode. And even though Kamsa arranged so many ways to kill Krishna, but they knew how Krishna was so powerful. And Akrura also was in so much anxiety, but Akrura got darshan of Lord in the Vaikunta, so he got assurance that there is no need to fear, and I am here to vanquish Kamsa. So all of this combined together, and here, as Kamsa was preparing, he made elaborate arrangements like one after another. If this thing fails, the other plan fails, there's one more. Like that, he was having so many plans, evil plans to somehow or other, kill Krishna. So, he had in the disguise of having this Dhanur Yajna, he was arranging all this. So now Krishna thought the this is the thing that was giving hope to Kamsa. Let me just break the bow. So this called Dhanurvad. Dhanurvad means it's just breaking the bow, and it's like vad means killing. So in the heart of Kamsa, there was so much anxiety after this, and he could not sleep. He was completely worried and full of anxiety. Wherever he sees, he was seeing only Krishna. So just like gopis, but in a completely different mood, in a mood of extreme suffering, extreme anxiety. And so in the previous verses, we have seen how Krishna entered that arena where the bow was kept. This is Lord Shiva's bow. It's very, very gigantic and powerful. And so Lord Krishna, just like Lord Rama lifted the bows, similarly Lord Krishna also lifted very effortlessly, and he just tied the bow string and then broke it into two halves. And this sound vibrated in the whole Mathura, and Kamsa heard the sound, and this basically terrified his heart. So here Sukadeva Goswami elaborates very nicely. So today we're starting from verse number 20. So here now the gods who are guarding this, now they after Krishna broke this bow, they started attacking Krishna and Balram. So now with these two halves, Krishna and Balram started striking them down. and eventually all of the gods they died. So now the whole Mathura is enjoying, the Mathura, the whole city, the Mathura Vasis are all, because of Kamsa's cruel rule, they were suffering so much. But they understood that Krishna and Balaram are so powerful, he can easily defeat Kamsa. They were not only enjoying these powerful activities, but the appearance of the Lord, so beautiful, so enchanting, as they're walking through the city and they were gazing at the Lord, this was all the fortune of the Mathuravasis. And they were so fortunate they were able to witness the Krishna and Balram walking through the streets. They were thinking, oh, maybe they must be demigods. So here Sukadeva Goswami says, um, Tejaha pragalbhyam rupam cha. So very beautiful teja, like just like strength, rupam, beauty. How they were very bold. So they were thinking arputam viryam nishamya. So puravashina. So uttama, like they considered vibuddha uttama, like there could be two beautiful. They are probably demigods like that. So definitely some extraordinary power, Mathuravasis thought. And then they were also, this is all predicted by gopis. So when the gopis saw that Krishna is leaving Vrindavan, they predicted that all of the Mathuravasis will enjoy so many benedictions, and all of these predictions are coming true. So we saw previously how Trivikra, a hunchback woman, she was actually made free of hunchback by Krishna. So all this on the whatever Krishna, wherever Krishna is touching, everywhere there's auspiciousness. So Kamsa is now the Gopi's prediction, that is also Sukadeva Goswami is elaborating. Gopya Mukunda Vigame Virahaturaya. So here it says that prediction Gopis were telling. So what were the prediction? The prediction was how the residents of Mathura will be gazing the beauty of Krishna. You know, so Krishna is here is described as Purusha Bhushana Gatra Lakshmim. So he is the ornament. Uh, the it is described here as the residents will gaze upon the beauty of Krishna. He is jewel among the men. So is and then here it's also said that how the mother Lakshmi Gatra Lakshmim Hitveran nu bhajantas chakama yamam ayamam Sri. So here Mother Lakshmi, so much so that Mother Lakshmi wanted to come and take shelter, reside with the Lord. So, and it was mentioned, although so many people are actually after Mother Lakshmi, but Mother Lakshmi wanted to reside at wherever the Lord is. So and then so here you can a sequence of events. The Krishna and Balram. It was mentioned how they had a place where all the Gopas, Nanda Maharaj and Krishna and Balram, they're all staying in a particular place, and so they came there and they were resting for the night. So it was mentioned here that. Sukham Ratrim, so very comfortably, all the whole night they were resting. While on the other side, what Kamsa was not able to sleep. He was on the palace with so much paraphernalia, nice bedding, everything. But Kamsa was not happy. Kamsa was very, very, so much so in anxiety that he was actually physically witnessing his cruel death. So on the other side, Sukadeva Goswami is describing here how the Gopas and the lordships were very nice, resting very nicely. So here, what Kamsa was seeing, that is also Sukadeva Goswami is kind of elaborating. Um, so Kamsa was thinking, how these two boys, Krishna and Balaram, just like a game, they just broke the bow, the sacrificial arena bow. And after this, he was very much terrified. He was thinking what is going to happen. Was the whole life Kamsa was basically, the the omen that he heard, like the Akashavani, that when Devaki got married, the whole life he was contemplating on his death. You know, so like we know the death is certain. Like in the material world, everybody knows death is certain, but um, for the demons, it's very difficult to even take it for granted. They'll somehow or other overcome death in a material way, not in a spiritual way. Like what devotees are doing, we are also trying to overcome death in a spiritual way. But on the demoniac, the Daityas, they want to overcome death in a material way. That's why they try so much so in order to overcome death by all the means exactly opposite to the scriptures. So even if you take the Hiranyakashipu, Hiranyaksha, they try to overcome death by the material austerities, performing severe austerities, trying to get boons somehow or other. But on the spiritual side, we have to overcome the death. The way to overcome the death is to remember the Lord at the time of death, so you can actually transfer to your spiritual atmosphere, so you don't get a material body again. So that's the way we have to overcome death. So here Kamsa was seeing so many bad omens. So he was very much awake the whole night. He could not sleep, and he was seeing Yamadutas, in his dream, and so much so terrified. So and now Sukadeva Goswami is elaborating on what those bad omens are. So he could see. When you're seeing your reflection, you don't see your head. How much terrifying it would be. It would be so terrifying. So Kamsa was witnessing that, and and then he was seeing the moon, double stars, everything double, like just like when you're confused, you see. And he was also not able to hear his life air, so which is all very terrifying. He could not see his footprints, bad omens. So in the Vedic culture, when something bad has to happen, the bad omens come. So this is very true. Person on the verge of death, he can see a lot of bad omens happening. So those days, if you go to 100 years before, the elders, they knew actually they are actually going to be leaving their body and so on so date. It was not like astonishing thing. Then they would say, okay, on this day I have to leave the body, and then they'll completely fast. So like that, they will have some signs of when things are going to happen, so they will prepare accordingly. So here, but Kamsa, even though he knew the whole thing that he has to die by the eighth son of Devaki, he being a asura, he could not tolerate. He was trying to overcome his death. So, but on the other hand, Vaishnavas, they try to embrace the death by accepting the spiritual principle that they have to transcend this body, that have to transcend this birth, death, old age, and disease by going to a spiritual atmosphere. So now Kamsa was seeing all this, things. Swapna jagritani cha pashyan marana santrashtu nidhram lebe cha sintaya. So much in anxiety, he could not sleep all night, terrified by the death. So what could be more terrifying than death, right? Death is the most terrifying thing in the whole creation. And if somebody is trying to overcome the death the whole life, and for him this could be more terrifying, the most terrifying thing, right? So, but in the material world, we are so much ignorant that we try to forget death. So at least Kamsa was trying to overcome his death in a way that he's trying to materially is trying to overcome. But in the material world, people are not even conscious of death. So Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadi Dukkha Doshanu Darshanam. Like one has to understand the problems of birth, death, old age, and disease. A sane man, like a sober man, should have to understand because these are real things, right? So Kamsa at least is trying to overcome in a bad way, but on a positive side, we should actually understand what is birth, what is death, and how to overcome all these miseries of life. The whole life is basically to. Prabhupada gives one lecture and says, Atyantika dukkha nivriti, like completely stopping all miseries of life. That is the purpose of spirituality. So by spiritual process, we should come to that conclusion how to stop all miseries, completely. So here, when the whole night was passing, and when the morning came, when the sun was rising, Kamsa was finally again trying to get some hope and trying to arrange the whole wrestling match arena. So he arranged so many things before the wrestling match when Krishna is going to come and enter in the inside the wrestling match. There was a Kovalapida elephant with the guard, and then after that there is so many big wrestlers. Chanura, Mushtika, Tosha. Like, these are all very powerful, wrestlers in the estimation of Kamsa. But from the all the Gopas and Nanda Maharaj and everyone understands that how Krishna is so powerful, so he could easily defeat all this. So now the worship the in the wrestling match, like in the when the king is arranging, along with the king there will be so many other kings, who are all friends of the king. They also sit and participate. The whole Mathura people, they also come in the arena, they watch. Like that, there were kettle drums, the musical instruments, flowers, garlands, so many. It's like a big festival was going on. So all of the Mathura Vasis, city dwellers, they're all Brahmana, Kshatriyas, they're all actually came down and sat in the arena. And the royal guests, they were also received by special seats. So now specifically, here it is mentioned that, so Kamsa, he was sitting on the imperial, like meaning the king of the king's dais, and among the various rulers. I don't know if Jarashanda was here. Probably he was here. He is the father-in-law of Kamsa. Most likely he was here also. So all of those kings were there, and now uh, so much enthusiastic. These wrestlers, they were mentioned here. About 5 wrestlers' names were mentioned: Chanura, Mushtika, Kuta, Sala, and Toshala. So all of these wrestlers, they were also sitting down. They were also very hopeful that they could actually defeat Krishna and Balram. So now Nanda Maharaj, and so the ritual here is when the all of the villages surrounding the Mathura, there were small villages headed by the kings over there, like small the head of the village. So Nanda Maharaj were also head of the cowherds. So he brought some gifts because he has to give it to the king. So he also gives tax. Along with the tax, he gives some gifts also. So now the whole ritual was going on. Each one of the village is being summoned, and then now the king of Bojas, basically, the Nanda Maharaj and the other cowherd boys were summoned, and they presented so many offerings to Kamsa. So here, Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur's commentary was given. So here, Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur says that uh, Kamsa was telling Nanda Maharaj that, my dear Nanda Maharaj, you are the king of Raja. You are most important of my village rulers. There's so many villages, but he was just trying to pamper Nanda Maharaj. You are most important. Even though you have come to Mathura, you have not come to visit me. Why didn't you not come to visit me? So it looks like he has come, early, like he has come so many days before, but he never visited Nanda Maharaj. Only in this event, he is actually offering his rituals, his gifts to Nanda Maharaj. So he is asking, why did you not come to visit me? Is it because you're frightened? Actually, Kamsa is frightened within his heart, but he is reflecting, is coming out. And then he is also pacifying Nanda Maharaj. Don't think that your two sons are bad, because they broke the bow. I invited them because they were very powerful, and I wanted to witness their power in the wrestling match. So see how very cunning the words are coming out. He has one intention in the heart, but then he's covering the whole intention. He's not straightforward. He's trying to sugarcoat everything and then trying to say something. And then finally he says, "Don't be afraid." So now Vishnu Chakravarti says that two sons were not present at that particular time. So Krishna and Balram were not present. They didn't follow the etiquette that they're supposed to follow for the king. They were absent. So it was mentioned that they were gone somewhere else. They were trying to do something else. So basically, whatever Krishna's arrangement, Lord has his own plans. He wanted to give mercy to somebody else, and then he'll come little later. So, and then some Kamsa at the same time, it looks like Kamsa delegated somebody to go and look for Krishna and Balram, and then ask them to come back to wrestling match. So this was according to Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur. And he also says that the royal dais was not given to Nanda Maharaj and cowherdman. So they sat on some other place because they were not given the royal dais. So these were all some insights that we got from Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur. So the whole situation here, in this chapter, we can understand that how Kamsa was so cruel his whole life. Now his fate is coming to an end. This is the ultimate confrontation that so much so that Kamsa witnessed. He sent so many powerful demons, beginning from Putana. Everyone was defeated by Krishna, but still he still has hope somehow or other. He can kill Krishna. This is the false hope against hope that we have in this material world, right? People who work very hard and forgetting the imminent death, and we are working, till the last breath. We have so many desires to accomplish this desire and that desire, and finally the death comes. So this is the whole the spirituality. It's said that Pavarga and Apavarga. The whole Srimad Bhagavatam is teaching us go against this Apavarga, against this the chasing the desires and meeting the death. So the whole life we go against the current of this material desires. So we basically try to do austerities for the spiritual purpose, purify our existence. We take shelter of the Lord. We surrender to Gurudev and take mantra blessings and chant, purify our existence, and finally we can overcome this anxiety of death also. So this is the whole process that Srimad Bhagavatam is blessing us. So now Kamsa is giving, he is giving that example exactly opposite to this, how the whole life he was trying to overcome his death, but finally he could not, and is meeting his imminent death. So many cruel things that Kamsa has done just to overcome his death, right? He wants to rule over the kingdom. Basically, he the me and mine, the conception of me and mine, and he wants he himself to be the center of the whole creation, not the Lord. So he didn't want to be accept the power of the rulership of the Lord. And then, so the kings on those days, if you go to many kings, those are pious kings, they ruled the whole kingdom as a servant of the Lord. They'll go to the temple and they will basically consider themselves the servant of the Lord. They will sweep the temple. Like if you go to Jagannath Puri, the king used to sweep in front of Jagannath Ratha Yatra, right? So the kings used to be considered themselves the servant of the Lord. That is the right conception. But Kamsa, on the other hand, he was trying to fight with the Lord, trying to overpower. So, and then meeting his ultimate death. So, Hare Krishna. So, that concludes the today's verse for today. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vranda ki jai, Granthra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Panchakalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhyev chaha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, devotees.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Dandavat pranam.
Hare Krishna. Mataji.
Thank you so much, Sri Krishna Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.